Hello everybody, welcome to this week's show. This weekend we saw the top Call of Duty teams compete at the U.S. Championship held at Full Sail University. In a surprising turn of events, Strictly Business, the 9 seed, came out of nowhere to dominate the bracket, defeating 9-time champions Complexity twice to secure the #1 seed at the Call of Duty World Championship.
Well, it was an epic tournament, but before we get to all that, Puckett, didn't you and some of the other casters make a few predictions going into the event? How did that turn out?
We definitely made predictions. Good predictions, not so much. As you guys know, the bracket was full of upsets, but all of our broadcasters, we pretty much picked the same teams. 3 of 4 of us all tied. The only one who was out of there, it was a clear loser, Golden Boy, but Golden Boy, he went out on a limb in his predictions, so shout out for that. He went with Curse New York and Denial East to qualify for Worlds. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out for him. All 4 of us had Justice and Curse Las Vegas advancing, but as we'll find out in a few minutes, those 2 teams were upset early in the bracket.
Absolutely. Now, what about predicting the winner? Did anybody have Strictly Business winning the tournament?
I don't think anyone but the 4 players on Strictly Business had Strictly Business winning that tournament. Everyone but Gandhi had Complexity winning. Gandhi had Team Caliber taking first. But we should give a shout out. Methods has Strictly Business advancing the farthest in the bracket. He did have them falling to Optic Gaming and loses bracket round 4, but I don't think any of us saw this one coming.
Yeah, good for them. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you switch over to LAN. Now, since you've covered your predictions, let's get into what actually happened. Right off the bat, the tournament kicked off with a major upset. Round 1 saw 3rd seed Curse Las Vegas fall to 14th seeded Rise. The series went to 5 games, and this result was just one of the weekend's first surprises.
A major upset there by Rise, and next we saw 10-seeded Vex Gaming sweep 7-seeded Denial East in round 1. Strictly Business scored their first upset of the winners bracket with a 3-0 sweep over 8-seeded FaZe, but the rest of the winners bracket round 1 were taken by the higher seeds.
Round 2 was just as explosive and with a lot more on the line. Winning a match here would guarantee you a spot at the Call of Duty World Championship and a shot at part of the $1 million prize pool.
Let's see how Clayster reacts to this.
And you just love that slow push and place. And now he's going to fire through the smoke, connects with 1. There's the second as well.
The round kicked off with a fan favorite matchup between Envy and Optic. It was Envy that came out on top, securing their seed for the Call of Duty National Championships.
One heck of a matchup, and after Curse Las Vegas, Rise continued their path to destruction in their matchup against 6-seeded Justice. Led by Fear's 16-8 performance in the first half of Sovereign Domination, the boys from Rise took down their opponent and secured their trip to Los Angeles. However, the biggest story from round 2 was the match between Strictly Business and the #1 team in the world, Complexity. After an amazing performance in winners bracket round 1, Strictly Business upset Complexity 3 games to none to secure their spot at Worlds.
Can they keep it up? This is a marathon and blitz, not a sprint. And that is a huge play from Doto. A bigger play with the triple. Going for the quad kill. Can he get it? Finally shut down, but he just opened up a runway for his team.
Finally, to no one's surprise, Caliber made short work of Vex Gaming and became the 4th team to earn their chance to become Call of Duty World Champs.
Well, with so many early round upsets, the losers bracket was pretty much a death trap. Of the 12 teams that were sent down to the lower bracket, only 4 could qualify for Worlds. 5 of these 12 also entered the tournament with a top 8 seed. In order to advance, a team would have to win their losers bracket round 2 match.
First to fall was Curse Las Vegas. The 3rd-seeded team lost to their sister squad, Curse New York. In Game 1 domination on Sovereign, Mochila taught the fans why his name in Spanish means backpack.
Okay, that just shows like what he does. He is a slayer, gets in your face and causes problems. Mochila on the prowl, finding one player on the ground, able to take him out. That's going to be one, and he gets the double, living up to the name as he is going to be able to cap B with his teammate here, and that was an incredible run there from Mochila.
First LV fought hard to tie the series at 2-2, but in the final search and destroy, it was always too little, too late for Parasite and crew.
1v3, trying to keep the drive alive here for Curse Las Vegas. He's going to look around the corner, see if he can find anyone, a miracle, something that he could lead on to, and that's not going to do it. Curse New York moves on to the next round. Curse Las Vegas knocked out of the Call of Duty US Championships.
Biggest upset I have seen this year.
Next in round 2, Xfinity eliminated 6-seeded Justice.
FaZe swept Vex to become the 6th team that qualified for Worlds.
Oh, J-Cap.
JCap.
Oh, JCap,
Oh,
come
Lord.
on.
That was a bit cheeky. Can he do it?
JCap, no!
my JCap, please.
JCap
Please
runs
stop.
this.
Please,
There is
JCap.
no stopping the man at the moment. He continues on, letting his teammates just cap after cap as they cannot shut down JCap.
He is just on another level right now.
And after losing in the winner's bracket, Complexity regained their footing and swept Denial East to earn their spot.
Complexity now is going to 3-0, and they have now secured themselves a spot at the World Championship.
Kind of good to say out loud, really.
Right?
I mean,
Finally, the last match in Losers Bracket Round 2 kicked off with a display of great sportsmanship by Optic.
Basically, Curse New York had a controller malfunction during the game, but the game had already started, kills were already scored, and players were already on objectives. Players quit out of that game, which would technically be a forfeit opportunity if Optic wanted to take it. After some thinking it over, Optic decided they're going to play the match straight up. We are starting fresh still from game number 1. So good show of sportsmanship here between these two squads.
After winning the first game, Optic lost 2 straight and was facing elimination. However, in game 4, an amazing triple from Embos would turn the momentum back in the Greenwall's favor.
Prepared for that player on the left. Now it's going to be all up to Revan. You got to play the clock here. You know where they're going to be coming from. And Nadeshot comes up big, 7-0 to kick things off here and give them the 2-0 lead at the start.
After entering the deciding Game 5, Nadeshot kicked off S&D on Freight with a 7-0 performance in the first 2 rounds. In the end, Optic won the map 6 rounds to 2 and became the final U.S. team to qualify for the World Championships.
With just 8 teams remaining in the tournament, the remainder of the bracket was played out to determine seeding for pool play at the World Championship. In the winner's bracket final, Caliber and Strictly Business pushed the series to a Game 5. The map opened up with SB making short work of all 4 members of TK in round 1.
All 4 down.
Wow.
What a rush there. Saints is going to pick up 1, Sensor 2 in this round, and Doto will close it out with the defuse.
The third round saw Doto continue his rampage, but come up just short.
Now to push in here. He needs to really get that bomb back and then try to figure out a play. He has managed to get it. He's going to go around the corner, gets 1. He's going to bring it back to 3-3. Now Doto going to go down bottom. He's going to see another player as well. Another double kill with Doto.
The series came down to the 7th round, where SB came out on top to win the game 6 maps to 1.
It's going to be oiled down to Sharp. Sharp is going to go down and go! Doesn't manage to get it. And that's it. SB will win. They will progress into the grand final here.
The congratulatory handshakes from both teams. Great sportsmanship from these 2 new squads. Gotta love Team Caliber, but Strictly Business is the team to beat today.
After losing to SB in the winner's bracket, Caliber would meet the same fate at the hands of Complexity. And Complexity shut down Formal Sniping and Octane S&D, riding the momentum through to win 3 straight and eliminating Team Caliber.
So there we have it. TK takes game number 1, but Complexity roaring back wins 3 straights led by their captain, Aches.
This set up a rematch between Complexity and Strictly Business in the grand final. Since the 2 teams had met up earlier in the bracket, Strictly Business entered the series with a 3-game advantage. In the first game, Saint Slaying led to a victory on Strike Zone domination.
well, Saints, meanwhile, he's on a nice little route there through that A flag. There's going to be a couple of Complexity players pushing towards him. He's given his position away, but does manage to win that gunfight. Nicely done, and they should be able to get that A flag. Now, the big question is, can they lock down that B flag spawn trap?
Man, Saints 10-5 just went on a big 4-kill spree there.
Complexity dropped Game 5, but put themselves on the board in Game 6, Blitz Warhawk.
So nice from Aches there, just
And another one.
Another cap as well,
He's set up for it. He just got behind him. That was actually TP who went through, and there goes Aches. So TP with 3 caps, Aches with 2, now in the lead 5-4 over SB.
The series would come down to Game 8, Search and Destroy on Warhawk. Both teams put 5 points on the board, bringing it to a deciding round 11. Strictly Business would prevail, secure the win, and be the first to dethrone Complexity and Call of Duty Ghost.
At that bomb site, lots of shots being exchanged. Apathy just needs to try and stay alive.
Apathy getting tagged up through the wall. Saints trying to protect him. Doto in the mix as well. Dito's going to get a pick up top. And it is now a 3-on-1. Aches the last man standing for Cole. And Strictly Business have taken it 6-2 in the U.S. Championship to dethrone Complexity as America's top team.
Wow, and what a fairy tale story it's really been for this SB team. They came in here, no one really expected them to cause any form of an upset. They played some of America's best teams, and they have beaten them all, Puckett.
Huge congrats to SB, and after their victory, we got a chance to sit down with Doto from Strictly Business to talk to them about their win and the upcoming COD Champs.
Hi, I'm Ken Doto, and I just won the United States Regional Championship. It feels pretty good. This is my very first MLG event that I've ever won. I've won minor events, UMGs, and I-46 in Europe, and this is my very first MLG, so it feels pretty good. It feels good knowing we can compete with the top 4 teams. Dethroning the supposed world champion is a good feeling, and beating almost all the US regional top teams, including Envious, FaZe, TK, all those teams, it feels pretty good. What we're going to do to counteract what other teams plan on doing in future tournaments to stop us, whether it's strats, grind time, practicing, it's just going to be the exact same thing we're going to play as long as we have, and we're making new strats for the Call of Duty World Championship in LA. We're not going to keep the same things. The only thing that I can say to fans and other individuals on social media would be that we just proved ourselves. We've been getting bashed lately on social media like Twitter about being warriors online, and coming to LAN and proving ourselves, defeating all the top 8 teams. It's the only thing that I can think of to prove other people wrong. I don't think that there's any other way to do it. After we played FaZe and we actually 3-0'd them in the first round, it was actually a pretty easy match. So going into Complexity, we felt like it was going to be an uphill climb. We took everything one step at a time, one map at a time, one round at a time. We ended up 3-0 in Complexity, and from then on in, we just realized we're probably going to win this event. They're the hardest team in our opinion, and everything we did just worked out perfect.
Point, they need to go every single way their way. 2 members left in here, they've got to try and get in, they've got to get through. Another kill going down, another one going down, they're going to get it again. It's 13-9, and now Complexity as Doto goes huge, shutting them down. He gets another one. Oh my goodness! How on earth has Doto just held off Complexity? He's still going, he's getting the points, they're being relayed, and it is now impossible for Complexity. They are going to the losers bracket.
The things we did to prepare for Complexity and any other team in this league, we just practiced a lot. We argued online, things weren't going our way online, and we got at each other's throats. We just practiced, nothing really in depth for strats and whatnot, just practice. The first 2 maps against Complexity in the finals, they were our best maps. After that, they kind of steamrolled us, because every map after that was a map that we did veto throughout the entire tournament, so we actually had to play our worst maps. Dom Octane is our least favorited domination map. They ended up beating us by 51 points in the first side. We were down and out, but in our heads we had to keep going, obviously. And then the second side, we actually lost by only 1 point. We came back with 50 points. It was a real shocker, but we had to move on.
Someone needs to jump on that B flag as quickly as possible. 15 seconds left.
It's being taken back.
They need to dive on it because Complexity, they're all over that A flag. It's going to be so close, 10 seconds. Just trying to do the math in my head. It's a 95 to 93 point game at this point. In the last 5 seconds, they're 1 point behind Puckett. Is the clock going to tick over? I don't think it is. 96 to 95! A 1 point game, Puckett! A 1 point game!
The first half, it actually was a couple teammates not following their normal routine on the map, and they fell short with KD-wise, and they didn't do their normal routines. On the second side, I had Sensor and Apathy do different things. I had them rush and push, be aggressive constantly, something we don't do, and we ended up 3-capping them for a long time, getting all the points back. At the end of the map, or the side rather, Complexity got B back, and that was the turning point and made them win by 1 point. If we would have held that B, we would have won the map, and the tournament would have been ours on that. Going into COD Champs, the only teams that we're really going to worry about or focus on is the United States teams. We feel they're the top contenders in the world, and we look down on, not look down, but we don't feel as if the European or the rest of the world is on the United States' level, so to say. So we're probably just going to work on our teamwork, try to be more level-headed online and get used to each other as teammates and friends and move on from there. If I won the $1 million from Call of Duty Championships, I would bank it. I don't think I would spend it recklessly like some teenagers would. I've attended last year's Call of Duty Championships and I placed 7th, and it was around 7,000 prize money, and I blew that pretty fast. So if I qualify again or make enough money, I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. I am Ken Doto, and you can watch me live at mlg.tv/strictlybusiness.
For the next few weeks, we have Ben Benson Bow here at the MLG studios. The British caster was on hand at the US Championships, and we decided to ask him which players impressed him the most at the event.
Let's take a look at the top 5 players from the US Championship this last weekend.
But before we do, a massive thank you to the team at RCOD Competitive for the statistic tracking done throughout this past weekend. In at number 5, we have Replays from Team FaZe. Replays shone at the US Championship and was definitely a huge factor which helped FaZe qualify for the World Championships in just over 2 weeks' time. He finished the event with an impressive 1.18 KDR, just 0.01 behind his teammate, JCap. Then you take a look at Blitz captures, a statistic FaZe dominated the US Championship with. Replays averaged a fantastic 5.17 caps per game and an overall 31 caps, 11 of which came in the crucial game versus one of the biggest rivals they have, Team Envious, where Replays went on top to cap for 11 points in the critically intense Blitz overtime. It gets even better for Replays when you look at his domination performances, a total of 44 caps in just 7 maps. In at number 4, we have Theory from Team Caliber. Theory was the highest average statistic player from the US Championships. He finished overall 5th in Blitz caps per map with 4.5 caps per game, 2nd in Dom caps with 7.29 caps per map, and 10th in the Slayer category with 25.27 average kills per respawn map. Overall, a solid event for Theory, and I'm really excited to see whether he can carry this over to the World Championship Finals in LA. In at number 3, we have Scumpy from Optic Gaming. All eyes were on the green wall this weekend, and the Ginger Ninja himself did not disappoint. Scumpy actually tied for top Slayer of the US Championship with an average of 28.18 average kills across respawn game types. One of his best performances came in against Curse New York in Losers Bracket round number 2. Both teams fighting for their spot at the World Championship, and Optic Gaming find themselves 2-1 down in the series. Up steps Scumpy to drop a 30 bomb on Dom Sovereign, and more importantly, keep the green wall alive and take them to a game 5. You add in his solid performances in Search and Destroy, and Scumpy had a sensational event. In at number 2, we have Crimsix from Team Complexity. What can you say about Crimbot's performances from the US Championship? Cole started the US Championships looking very shaky, dropping down into the losers bracket for the first time since the Call of Duty World Championship last year. Up stepped Crimsix to carry Complexity all the way through the losers bracket back to the grand finals, a place where everyone simply expects Team Complexity to be. He did so in extraordinary fashion, an overall 1.21 KDR from the event and an average 26.90 kills per respawn map. Crimsix had fantastic performances through this past weekend, including a 30 bomb of his own in Domination Sovereign versus Optic Gaming. Complexity needed Crimsix to step up this weekend, and he did not disappoint. And in at number 1, we have Saints from Strictly Business. Nobody had Strictly Business walking away from this weekend as US champions, but Saints showed fantastic consistency across the board on all game types, and proved to everybody exactly why him and his teammates deserved their spot at the World Championships at the end of the month. Saints finished the event with a fantastic 1.26 KDR, top of any player to qualify from this weekend. Tally that with a 27.77 average kills per respawn game mode, and you start to realize exactly why Strictly Business did so well at the US Championship. One of his key performances came against Complexity in just the second round. Saints played some of his best Call of Duty to shock the world and put Complexity down into the losers bracket for the first time in a year, dropping an overall 62 kills in just 3 maps. Saints also walked away as my personal US Championship MVP.
Some great players right there. All right, now that Benson's had his shot at the top 5, Puckett, it's your turn.
All right, guys, it's time to make it great in the Pizza Hut top 5 plays of the week. We'll be counting down the top 5 plays from the US Championship. Kicking it off here at number 5 is the 3-piece from Formal against Vex in Search and Destroy.
TK answers right back.
Formal with 3.
One. Man, Formal. 1, 2. Oh, and the business right there. Formal. No. Oh my goodness.
Coming in at number 4, Doto holds off the entire Complexity squad to get his team into the World Championship.
Down. Another one going down. They're going to get it again. It's 13-9. And now Complexity as Doto goes huge, shutting them down. He gets another one.
What the
my
Doto?
Goodness. How on earth has Doto just held off Complexity? He's still going. He's getting the points. They're being relayed. And it is now impossible for Complexity. They are going to the losers bracket. SB have qualified for the World Championships in the most fantastic of ways.
Coming in at number 3, it's Proofy from FaZe going on a tear against his former teammates on Envy.
Needs to be enabled.
Oh, God.
Another kill goes to Proofy!
Oh!
Proofy, please stop! That is just godlike. 26 and 19, 6 caps, 14 to 13, a 1-point game as we go into the final minute.
Proofy now spots another guy, cleans him up, and look at this, they're flooding the base again. We do have a sneaky player here from the members of Envious who are looking to try to get that last second cap. He got caught, and now Proofy's gonna push in. He's in the spot.
Proofy, stop this madness. He's on a 9-3. Classic 11. Proofy extends to 10. There's one more player for Envy. He manages to get a cap. The defensive play, it's not going to be strong enough. There's going to be 3 phase players in the Envy spawn at this point, and Proofy is just waiting for the spawn shot. The kills go in. They're overextending from both teams. You can see those orange arrows
went down.
pushing.
That's bad.
The orange arrows pushing into the enemy base.
He has to be careful. It is going to be Proofy. There's going to be one guy on their flag. Envy now has to make the decision. Are they going to go for it? And Proofy now spots it. He's going to wisely back out. Oh my God, he goes back for the challenge. He craps on Rambo. And now there's going to be 2 more players looking around him. Will he do this?
Oh, no! He got the kill! Proofy got the kill!
Proofy.
And they got the cap as well. 19 to 18
look at this.
at this
And
point.
they have the spawn trap. Envy is forced to flip the sides and
But
go
there's
back
one
to their
player
base.
overextending as well. He got killed. Dude, incredible defense coming in from phase right at the very end. Proof he can put this out of reach. Nicely played.
Karma gets our #2 play of the tournament when he wins the 1v3 against Optic Gaming.
I have to track back now, decides to try and pick up that bomb. I mean, 40 seconds left in a 1 versus 3. It's not looking good, and as well, Clayster still yet to die. But it looks like now Karma is going to see someone to the left-hand side. Get Scump. That's a good start now with 30 seconds left in 1 versus 2. This is looking a little bit better for Karma. Although if he can find this second kill, it really is going to help his cause, because he can only really afford to go towards that B site. In terms of time, 20 seconds, it is ticking away, and Optic gonna know this, but there's the kill on Karma. Picks up Clayster, now it's a 1 versus 1. Karma versus Nadeshot. Nadeshot still yet to die, 6-0. Karma, is he gonna go for the plant? Is he gonna bait it out? Looks like he's gonna go for it now. Is Nadeshot gonna challenge? He's gonna need to, otherwise the plant is gonna go down.
Oh no, right behind him.
Kill Karma! Oh no! Karma just destroyed Nadeshot!
And the #1 play of the tournament is Apathy's ace against Complexity to keep his team alive and turn the momentum in their favor for the rest of the event.
Defense, there is a player inside that's Apathy waiting for them to push.
It's just being very, very cautious there. And there, Apathy, I was going to say, I'm surprised we haven't seen a few more Bulldogs on this map. They are so devastating in places like this. He's going to be just careful. He can pick up another one here. He's locking it down. The problem is, like I said, you can't really challenge a Bulldog because it can be one shot and you're dead.
Apathy in a tough spot. Looks like he's going to get some help, though. His teammates trying to rotate. Krim 6 is going to watch his Karma's picked, and Krim has looped all the way around. So they were trying to set up for this moment, and Apathy just says, take a seat, boys. But he's left 1-on-1. Ake's the last man standing here for Complexity, going up against Apathy from Strictly Business.
This is what I said about you can't really challenge a Bulldog. It's so difficult to win a gunfight against this. Apathy could get a last
Nice.
one, and he does. Gets the ace.
Is that good?
Oh, that's very good there.
I like it. Good work from Apathy. The Bulldog, the patience, the perfect play, picking up his opponent's gun, using it against them, and then just the solid positioning, knowing that Aix is going to have to get aggressive, punishes him at range.
Fuck it. These plays were really awesome, but why wasn't Nadeshot featured? I heard that he had a 7-0 opener against Curse New York.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I noobed this one, Desi. Of course, when you're being the Call of Duty broadcaster, you get to choose what players to feature. I always try and pick the 2 arrows that are closest to each other in Search and Destroy, but Nadeshot was so aggressive in this round, I didn't expect it. He got 4 straight kills. I missed every single one of them, and then after that, he opened up the next round with a 3-piece. It's not the first time I didn't show Nadeshot being awesome. I also missed one at UMG. Nadeshot, I'm sorry. Green Wall, please get off my Twitter feed.
No love lost. It's all good. Everybody, it happens to the best of us. All right.
Yeah, my bad, guys. Mom, I'm sorry.
All right, Puckett, now that all of the regional qualifiers are over, who are the 32 teams that we're going to be seeing at the World Championship?
First off, here are the top 8 teams that qualified this past weekend from the U.S. Championship. Be on the lookout for the winners Strictly Business and runners-up Complexity to make a big run in LA. They're going in with the #1 and 2 seeds, which will pit them against the 8th and 7th seeded teams coming out of the European region. Up next are the European teams. TCM and Epsilon made it to the finals of the European bracket, so their groups will include the 8th and 7th seeded US teams, Xfinity and Optic. And here's a list of the remaining 16 teams that will be at the World Championship. So how will all this work? Once all of the 32 teams are split into the 8 groups of 4, each team will play every other team in their group. The 2 teams with the best records from each group will then advance to a 16-team double elimination bracket.
Sounds good. Now, one of the standout players this weekend, as you all know, was Optic Gaming's Scumpy. While he's still only 18, he's considered by many to be a veteran of the pro circuit. But his performance over the weekend showed no signs of aging. At the U.S. Championships, he placed 5th on the overall kill-death leaderboard and 1st on the kill-death leaderboard for respawn game types. In this week's player profile, we take a look at his storied career.
Since 2011, one of the biggest stars on the MLG Pro circuit has been Scumpy. The Jinja Ninja burst onto the scene at MLG Dallas 2011 when his team Leverage dominated the competition, taking first place.
Right now, Scumpy is at 11-4. He is just absolutely wrecking it right now as he picks up another one against Mainstream, and he is just holding it down hardcore right now.
Wow, that's his 7th so far.
Need to work on our S&D game. We really came out and we beat Resistance, which is probably one of their best game types, and we really just took control after that.
The squad rotated players several times during the course of the year, which allowed Scumpy the opportunity to learn from veteran players like TP, Aches, and Proofy. In Modern Warfare 3, Scumpy joined Apex North America, the team that would eventually become Optic Gaming.
Yes, now we are seeing Josh once again left last alive against Scump, Rambo and Mert. This time 1 versus 3. Needs to do this to keep them in. But no, he has been taken down by Scumpy, so there we have it. Optic Gaming are once again champion.
The squad dominated the year, losing only 1 of the 5 tournaments they attended. Unfortunately, he was too young to compete at COD XP and had to watch from the sidelines as his teammates won the $400,000 grand prize. Black Ops 2 saw the team place consistently in the top 8, but they would only grab 1 first-place finish at UMG.
And they have position on the Optic winning. And that is it. Complexity.
Optic Gaming is a legendary franchise here in Call of Duty, but this year you haven't been getting the championships that you might have been hoping for. What's been going on over at Optic?
And I think the intensity has a lot to do with it. We used to have Ray shot calling. Nobody really does that in Search for us anymore, but we still win a lot in Search, so I don't really think that's a problem. I think intensity is really one of the biggest things, as well as hardpoint.
Optic has been struggling in Call of Duty Ghost. Their placings have clearly not matched up to the standards they have set in previous years. However, with a roster full of past champions and an unwavering dedication, underestimating this team could be a fatal mistake.
Well, while this is the end of our show, the esports world never stops spinning. Make sure to check out all these awesome tournaments over the weekend.
Of course, guys, you can catch the Call of Duty League. It continues this Thursday, Friday, and the Super Saturday. 12 hours of gaming going on there. Thursday, we have your U.S. champion Strictly Business, Team Caliber, Complexity, and Curse Youth playing.
On Friday, we have FaZe, Justice, Curse Las Vegas, and Curse New York taking the stage.
And finally, Saturday, we have 5 teams competing. It'll be Optic, Complexity, Justice, Curse New York, and Envy.
And as usual, Sunday will feature a 2K tournament where teams will get a chance to compete for MLG Pro points.
So much Call of Duty. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure to tune in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on MLG.TV to catch all the action.
See you guys next time.